my doors off. That this guy is just stupid.
I would be absolutely raising hell. I'd be pissed as fuck that it's taking that long.
I'm calling him tomorrow. Fucking moron.
Is it from a county attorney?
Huh?
Who's that guy from Lamar's?
No, it's Pat Phipps from Mobile.
Phipps?
Joe Biden's cousin, brother, twin.
See Joe Bryant.
Exactly the same. Mentally handicapped. Pretty sure he has dementia. And you ask him a simple question like, "Hey, so when are you sending me this file?" He's such a politician. He'll talk a circle around it, and it's be like, "Okay, so when are you sending me this?" I asked him like 4 times. It's like, boy.
Yeah, that shit pisses me off.
Yeah, some people just.
Some people's kids.
Right?
Okay, so we're live. For some reason the video's not showing up on my live, but let me know if it's working for you guys.
Dude, your shit never seems to
Facebook hates me for some reason, man.
work correctly.
They change the live thing about 50 times every fucking week, so.
I asked him like 4 times. It's like.
Okay, so apparently it's working. I can hear it.
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying. It shows that it's muted, and then I can't mute it or unmute.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's also not telling me if we have anybody watching, so that's great. I won't be able to probably see if we have comments.
It's not telling me. I can see Mike Tharp, Chabray, Chad, Jay Nelson. What's up, Jay? I got out your mag today. Got that sent out to you. Mike, how's it going?
Oh yeah, I'm seeing comments, so we got that going for us. Don't know how many people are watching though, but I guess that's not real important.
Yeah, I can't see either for some reason.
Well, is Toad still hanging around? I'm not.
Yep.
I can't, okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
there.
I'm trying to watch it on my work phone, but I cannot for some reason.
He's in the city, so his internet might suck balls tonight again.
Meh.
Hey, Cliff, how's it going?
Well, I guess we might as well start. We got a few people watching, so welcome to, I think this is our 5th episode of Gears and Beers.
I believe so.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I had an introduction lined up, and then brain just shitting out right now.
It's not as easy as it looks, is it, Box?
I've actually done quite a few, Sam, and this is the first time that I've had a brain fart, so...
Oh, that is not true. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not exactly enthusiastic really tonight, although I am glad to be here. What about the rest of you guys? Are you guys enthusiastic?
No, you suck. I'm doing fantastic today.
Oh, that's a first.
No, actually, drinking a little bit of is it Miles that's gonna give me shit? Little Screwball on the rocks. Oh man, it's like candy. It's just absolutely delicious. I love it. But I've been today. I've been Cerakoting for since 2016. So 3-4 years. Today is the first time that I've actually laid down a multicam paint job, and I was happy with it.
Wow.
I for whatever reason, I suck at multicam. I mean, they're decent quality, I can still put them out there, but I've never been happy with them. And today I was actually like stoked about it. I did a black multicam. So I am feeling fantastic.
For some reason, that doesn't sound impressive at all. I'm sure it is actually a feat, but it just doesn't sound impressive. You're like, I did a camo paint job for once.
No, it's not. It's not impressive. It's pathetic. You guys have seen all the shit that I typically can put out, no problem. But for whatever reason, I have like a mental block when it comes to multicam. That's why I haven't done much of it. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Well, that's awesome. What about the other 2 guys? Anybody? Are they even still here?
Bueller.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure this stupid thing out.
Figure what out?
He's trying to
How
get
do-
into the live, apparently.
Yeah, and it's not working.
Oh, we're off to
Johnson,
an
Johnson,
awesome
how you
start.
doing?
I'm
Johnson,
not so
can you
sure.
hear us?
Not so sure Johnson
What's
is
going on
here.
Is Johnson not
Oh,
here?
I always hit mute because Vox always complains about my clicky mic, so I always forget.
I
to mute it
complained about it once.
twice.
Excuse me.
So that constitutes always. But no, I'm doing all right. Just I have to deal with stupid people sometimes, and it makes me angry.
Only
But-
sometimes.
Well,
You lucky bastard.
sometimes I work from home now, so it's a lot easier to stay away from stupid people. But yeah,
And
and my lawnmower decided to just about break in half about 3/4 of the way through my yard on Monday. So I got parts in today and got that fixed. So that put me in a little better mood that my mower's fixed.
How does a lawnmower break in half?
So it's like a zero turn. So there's a hydraulic motor on each rear wheel. There's a metal cross brace that goes between the two. Well, when one side of that snaps clean off, the tires go from this to one tire going like this. And it
Lovely.
shreds the drive belt into a million pieces and stops you right where the hell you are.
Lovely. Lovely.
So I had to overnight, had Colin overnight me like $200 worth of parts to get the piece of shit back together so I could move it even.
Sounds fun.
Well,
I before we dive into this, I actually grilled up some freaking country style ribs. You know what country style ribs are, Johnson? They're like,
Yeah.
what
I'm
exactly
freaking-
does country style mean, though?
I have no idea.
So how do you know they were country style?
Because that's what it said on the package.
So they better be pre-seasoned, pre-done is what you're telling me.
No. They're what they are is just like basically rib meat. Some of them have ribs in them, and some of them don't. Some of them, but they're just big ass slabs of meat. They're freaking delicious. You can get a whole package of them for like usually $4 or $5, and they make like 3 meals for me. So anyway, I grilled them up before we came in here and started the live. Then I wrapped them up and put them in a towel so they'll be nice and warm still when we get out of here. And I'm half popped looking for supper. I'm pretty stoked about it.
You got a real drinking problem, Sam.
We're on a podcast called Gears and Beers.
Yeah, it's only right. Are we all drinking, by the way? Johnson, do you have a drink? I think Toad does.
Yeah, I do.
What do you? Let me guess. Toad's drinking vodka. Yep. That intervention's becoming a little bit more
Imminent.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the first one I've had in 2 weeks. All right, I've lost 10 pounds and I deserve a treat.
10 pounds. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, well, even though I am not exactly enthusiastic about this whole podcast tonight, I am kind of enthusiastic about something else. I ordered a trigger from Primary Arms for my M&P a couple weeks ago, and it got bounced around the United States for a while, and it finally showed up this week, and I put it in Monday night, I believe. I got an Apex Tactical. Maybe you guys... Oh, yeah. Look at that. It's just gorgeous.
What exactly is it?
This is Apex Tactical, the Duty Carry series. So it's actually a little bit...
Duty.
Yeah, Duty. It's actually a little bit heavier pull weight than the factory. I might put the factory's trigger spring back in it. I'm not sure. It might not even be any heavier. There's just a different feel to it because it's just a different shaped trigger. I don't know. But it is a whole lot smoother than the factory one.
And it doesn't have the stupid split in the middle.
Yeah, I don't like that, the whole hinge trigger thing.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm excited.
What shape? I can't see it. What shape is it? A flat or?
It's not flat, but it's
It's
like in between a flat and a
hinge in the center.
I put it back up there. I don't know. Maybe it'll show up on your screen in 10 minutes, Sam. I don't know.
Doubtful.
The Fire Control Unit XO1 for the P320. I don't know what that is, Mike Tharp. I have a Gray Gun's trigger in my P320, but I'm not sure. I didn't know there was entire full fire control units that you could get for it. But yeah, Apex is a huge name when it comes to MMPs. I don't know about other models. I'm not even sure if they make triggers for other brands.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, but yeah, it's really nice. But what bothers me is I'm in several Smith & Wesson groups on Facebook, and there's always, hey, I just bought my first Smith & Wesson. What do I need to do to it? And everyone's like, immediately change to an Apex tactical trigger. I'm like, you haven't even shot the damn thing. Why do you have to go changing out the trigger? First off, the 2.0 triggers are actually pretty damn nice in these.
Right.
And this was $100 some, and I think the aluminum ones are like $130 for this style of trigger. I don't know if it's that different. I mean, I certainly don't regret buying it, but it's not something I would say you need this upgrade. Even if I don't know, the difference isn't that great to the point where I would think you need this upgrade. And it bothers me that people think you have to go upgrading something you haven't even shot before. I don't know, the difference isn't that great.
Does it not bother you? Does it not bother you to, like, in my carry guns, I don't fuck with the trigger.
Oh, Porky Pig.
What the hell is going on?
Johnson's laughing at my stuttering.
Oh.
For some reason, I didn't find it that. I didn't think it was that.
I didn't even notice it.
Oh,
you're just used to it by now. You've dealt with it for however many years. But anyway, it doesn't, like, for me, my carry guns, the triggers stay stock. That's like one of the few parts about them that I'm not going to screw with. That doesn't bother you at all, though.
Not in this case, no. Why would it?
Just because I don't like putting the aftermarket parts in my factory gun. Like,
are you concerned about reliability?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't go buy some no-name trigger and throw it in. Apex is pretty reputable, and I'm fairly certain that I can trust these guys.
Well, yeah, I agree. Apex is one of the more reputable ones, but I just have and I'm not bashing you for it, but I have a strict rule. My triggers and my carry guns, they are what they are. But I know a lot of people are do like changing out their shit. Hell, James, I'm pretty sure he carries I can't remember what his trigger is in that Glock that he carries. But Johnson, what about you?
I just saw James's comment, and
you're offended?
You're a real dick there, Tulip. But for some reason I can't even read the comments, but like, you know how you look at a video, there's always like that one comment down below, and that's all I can see is James. What an asshole. Like,
does he not typically clip his toenails or what? I guess I haven't even noticed.
No,
James,
I definitely do.
James says his Glock has an Apex, which is kind of what. So yeah, I mean, I can see both sides of it. You want a little bit nicer trigger on your carry gun, but myself personally, I don't. Mine stay stock. But Johnson, what about you?
I'm pretty stock. The only thing I really change is like competition pistol, target pistols. If it's going to be a carry gun, it's just you're going to buy it and you're going to leave it. Maybe sights. That's about it. But
nah, I don't buy into that whole thing.
I carry. It's not out of I'm afraid that it's not going to be reliable. I just don't. I don't find it. I would rather invest my money in like a target gun that, you know what I mean, versus something that is not going to get shot that much. And in my opinion, I'm not an expert marksman by any means. So, if I really need to use my firearm, if I've shot that gun with the factory trigger, I'm going to be able to shoot it with a factory trigger. I an aftermarket trigger to be able to shoot it accurately.
It's not necessarily about need, but I guess I don't understand why you wouldn't want to give yourself every possible advantage. That's why we carry guns.
Right.
Yeah, of course I'm not going to be throwing around every possible upgrade that I can on this thing, but I'm going to do things that will give me the advantage.
And I can see that, and I don't see anything wrong with it. I just don't. I've never personally changed out a trigger on a carry gun. That's, I'm not saying I'm totally against it. I'm not saying I wouldn't. It's just I've never done it, so I don't know. I guess I don't have really strong opinion on it because I haven't tried to change it out. I don't have a feeling against changing out the trigger, but
well, for me, I'm fixing on getting a 43X, and I will probably I'll mill the slide, put a Holosun red dot on it. That doesn't bother me. I will probably stipple the frame, that's, that is what it is. But when it comes to the trigger, I'm not going to mess with that just because, and Box, I'm not like saying you're wrong for doing it at all. This is just my personal opinion and the way I view it. I'm not going to change out the trigger because the way it was designed was for that specific trigger, and Glock has their own tolerances of everything they do. Apex has their own tolerances of everything they do. Just for me, I just want to stick to one. And I think I don't think it's more rooted in, I'm thinking it's going to fail or there's going to anything go wrong with it. I'm thinking it's just rooted in, that's the way that I am. And there's not necessarily
reason.
a lot of, well, there's a reason behind it, but I guess mostly the reason is I don't freaking want to, because this is the way I think. But I'm not saying you're wrong for doing it at all. That's not.
No, say I'm wrong all you want. I know I'm not wrong.
Well, I mean, there's both sides to it. You're saying, and I totally see your side. You're saying, why don't you give yourself every advantage? I can understand that. I'm just saying, I want my gun to be 100% reliable and functional all the time. And that's the way that I view it is going to be the best way. That's just my personal opinion.
So if it's the best, if it's factory, why have you done anything to the gun you shoot competitions with?
Because that's a P80 gun.
Can't you throw all Glock parts in it?
So you're not trusting your life with that one either, really.
Right.
Yeah, but if you're shooting better with all the stuff that you're throwing on it.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. It's like I said, it's just right. And we could argue all night about it, but I think at this point, it's just personal preference.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's exactly. I'm not going to say there's a right or wrong on this. I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I'm just I want people to see my side of it as well. I mean, yeah, I was the same way not that long ago before I put this trigger in, I was a little skeptical. Hey, do I really want to do this and change out these parts in the gun that I carry every single day? But I've come around.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys aren't going to be able to see me because I can't get it to work on the other phone, and I don't have a camera on this one that works for the shit. But my carry gun came with a pretty decent camera.
Say what?
What?
Is Toad having
I don't know. Something's seriously jacked up with my shit here.
Your carry gun came with
a nice camera? What? Are you having a mild stroke?
I don't think he's all there.
Apparently he can't hear us.
No, I don't think he can hear us. Sorry, Toad. Go get a better internet connection, I think. What he was saying was his carry gun came with a pretty decent trigger.
Yeah.
I think that's what he was trying to say. In between, he was also trying to work on his computer. And he pulled a SAM and strung two sentences together.
Yeah.
That's probably what was going on.
Isn't his carry a 1911?
Yeah. Which inherently they do. I mean, if we're being real about it, a 1911, you're always going to be able to have a better trigger in a 1911 than like a polymer frame striker fired gun.
Okay, now I can hear you.
That's just the way the shit, just the way the trigger rides in the frame of the 1911. It's not like a hinging. It's just you're pushing straight back.
Straight back, right?
It's just that's just the way it is. It's going to be a better trigger.
Yep. Yep.
Well, for what I paid for it, it better have a nice trigger in it.
Well, yeah, and we're just saying, as far as 1911s versus like striker fired or hammer or other, hammer fired guns, if it's not a pivoting trigger, it's gonna feel better than any pivoting trigger. So.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
That trigger in my TP9 SFX is actually pretty nice too.
Yeah. That's not to say that you can't have a striker fired gun with a really, really nice trigger. There's a ton of them out there, but you're always going to be able to have a little bit better trigger on a 1911.
They're just different.
Yeah.
Kind of like U-Box, just a little bit different.
Yeah. Actually, this is now the nicest trigger that I have. Like you guys heard me ooh and ah over my Steyr trigger.
Yeah.
This is nicer than that trigger now. Pretty big fan of it.
So it's actually in your carry gun now?
Yeah.
Have you got out and shot it?
I have not.
Have you shot that Steyr very much?
Have I what?
Have you shot your Steyr very much?
Shut up about the Steyr, Toad.
How about next range day we have a box has the Steyr. I got that freaking Sada. Johnson, what do you have that you bought that you never shoot?
I've got that Springfield.
Yeah, Toad's got his range off his carry gun. He never freaking gets out and shoots it. So maybe we should.
If we're gonna do a competition with that, I'm gonna have to do like 17 tactical reloads in a row just to keep up.
It'll be good for it.
That's fine.
I've only got 4 mags for it.
But one of these range days, we should just do something like that. All the guns that we bought that we don't ever freaking shoot, slap those on there and go with those. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, I agree. So why don't we move on to Johnson? You wanted to talk about the Air Force's new survival rifle.
Yes, the MI-GAU5A. U.S. Air Force started or decided to adopt this. It's got like the takedown barrel on it, and I don't know. It's kind of cool. It's there because they've always used like 9mm pistols and stuff as their emergency survival firearms in like their ejection seats and stuff. So they have upgraded, and the basic reason for it was they wanted a little more extended range. So going from a 9mm pistol to a 223 is a pretty substantial increase in accuracy and range. So Midwest Industries is putting these together, and after so many people asking, like, I'm kind of into like the military clone rifles and stuff, and people building like super correct clones of military guns, like the Mark 12 Mod 0 and like some of the cool Knights armament shit that's like really expensive and stuff, and people trying to kind of clone that stuff. It's cool, but they Midwest Industry had so many people calling and asking about like parts that they just decided to offer it as a pistol to civilians. So it's got the quick takedown set up on the barrel and everything. It's really neat. I can't remember who makes the. It's got even a folding pistol grip, so it actually folds back. From the receiver, it kind of folds back towards the buffer tube. So that's kind of cool. It's
You mean
just,
like a law tactical?
No, he's talking about the pistol
the
grip.
actual pistol grip folds up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
different.
it's the Cry Havoc quick release barrel system, and it's got like the folding pistol grip. It's like a Fab Defense grip. It's got a lot of cool parts on it, and it's, you know, they're kind of pricey. They're like $1,500, but I still think they're cool.
It does look. I like the rail on it. I mean, it's a pretty cool looking rail, and the quick detached barrel system. Why isn't that a more prevalent thing in the industry? I mean, because they've been around for a while now.
Right.
I mean, if it's a better attachment system, why isn't that a more prevalent deal? I wonder. I suppose it's just more expensive and more difficult to manufacture.
Who said it's better? Or why would it be better?
I'm not saying it's necessarily. Well, it's probably not as. I mean, but it's in pistol situations like this. You'd think you'd be seeing more of those in the pistol market, but no, I think it's it's definitely a cool looking little gun. I wouldn't mind building one, but I'm not going to buy it for $1,500.
I think the reason you're looking for there, Sam, is probably price.
Well, probably.
Not a lot of people are building high dollar pistols.
Yeah. But there's a shit ton of people manufacturing them. I'm just saying it must be a lot more difficult to manufacture yet.
They do offer just an upper for $850.
Oh, that's not that bad then.
And they're 12.5-inch barrels.
Yeah, that's actually 850. That's not that early. That's not that horrible. There's a lot of shit. There's a ton of offers for that kind of price on the market right now. So that's not too bad.
No, it's not too terrible.
I guess I'd be for that. I might be able to talk myself into, because then wait, time out. You can buy the upper for 850.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can build the fucking lower for less than 200 bucks.
Yeah, I don't. So the only thing about let me see here, because the lower receiver, it's let me see. Millstick, I don't know. It seems SBA 3 brace. I'm sure you can get the Fab Defense folding pistol grip. Pretty standard lower.
Miles says it's $375 just for the adapter. It'll work with any 223 barrel. They make one for $308 as well. Interesting. Interesting.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know too much about this subject, so I don't have a whole lot to say.
Yeah,
I've never really researched that folding stuff.
Cool to see. I thought it was cool because it was cool to see that there were so many people interested in it that they said, "Oh, okay, fine, let's offer it," as a civilian product. Which more people need to do that with H&K, because I want the MP7 to be a real thing.
Have you seen? I think it's Deadfoot Arms. They're actually making maybe I'm talking out my ass here, but I swear I saw a side folding barrel. Like the buffer tube went on one side, like it does, and then the barrel folded onto the other side. So you put it like a knapsack or something.
Yeah, it was like a law folder one side, and then the barrel folded around to the other side.
Well, actually, Deadfoot makes their own shit. They don't use law tactical stuff.
Well, right, but same principle.
Same general idea.
Yeah.
So it's like it could fit in your fanny pack. That's what they should call it, the fanny pack AR.
Speaking of fanny pack, Sam, you know Braden, my boss, my boss's brother.
Oh, yeah.
He wears a fanny pack all the time now.
Really?
He's just a weird dude. He says he comes down and bothers you all the time, and you kick him out of the shop.
Watching this. Yeah, he was down. He was in here a while ago. He messaged me the other day. He was Cerakoting some shit.
Yeah, he's a weird dude.
He's probably watching this.
I doubt it. Okay. Well, Johnson, do you have anything else, or anybody else have anything to say about that?
Not really. I just thought it was a cool thing that enough people asking for it. The company decided to release it to the civilian market. I thought that was just kind of a cool thing.
Yeah,
You know me, innovation, man. I love it.
Well, we're talking about markets. I believe this next thing is not. I think the Army is testing it right now. Correct, Toad? You wanted to talk about Polymer Arm Ammo?
Well, I know in 2019 the Marines were looking to source about 2.5 million rounds of polymer cased 50 BMG. Now, when we were out in SHOT Show, what the hell was the name of that company? Sorry, I'm all flustered now because I can't get my stuff to work correctly.
If it's the same one I'm thinking of, it's called True Velocity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So basically, what they've done is they tried this 10 years ago, and it wasn't True Velocity; it was a different company. But they made these rounds, these polymer cased rounds, and the reviews were absolutely abysmal, like just horrible. Like you could squeeze the round, and it would that squeeze, and you could push the bullet down in the neck of the case. But I guess True Velocity's found a solution, and apparently in testing, their rounds do better than standard brass rounds as far as accuracy goes. And I've looked at their cases, and they're a pretty well full polymer case. And I was looking at some other ones, and they're like half polymer, but like the bottom like half an inch is brass, and the rest is actually polymer. But True Velocity, it's a white case, says True Velocity on the side, and it's got a big old bullet in it. So
they also really help with heat dissipation.
Yeah, that it not some barrel, but it keeps your chamber from overheating, basically, because the polymer case itself actually absorbs heat.
Yep.
Another big benefit of it with the whole next generation squad weapon that the Army is having companies create prototypes and stuff for is it's a requirement that their ammo weighs less, basically.
Yep.
So it's just a big weight savings for as far as somebody carrying 1,000 rounds for a squad weapon. They don't have to carry as much weight, obviously. So that's another benefit of it.
Yeah, and also that comes into play with money and transporting all that ammo overseas. The article I was reading today said it costs to get 3 gallons of gas over there, it costs them $300. So imagine thousands and thousands of pounds of ammunition, and this cuts down the weight. I think from 3,000 rounds. I can't remember what round it was. 3,000 rounds of some caliber, and it cut it down. It cut the weight down by nearly 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
For 3,000 rounds, which I thought was
maybe 3,000 rounds. 3,000 rounds doesn't weigh 1,000 pounds.
What?
Yeah. He's saying 3,000. It must not be 3,000 rounds.
You're right. There's a certain number of so many of this caliber weigh 3,000 pounds, and the same number of the polymer weighed 1,000 pounds less.
Okay. Gotcha.
But and they match this stuff. They're working with Sierra, and they throw Sierra Match King bullets in these, so they're very high quality. They're actually these aren't going to be reloadable, is one thing, and customers can't load them themselves, so you have to buy them. But they're saying that they're going to be more accurate or as accurate as any hand loading or a hand load that anybody can do. So they're going to be great for precision shooters.
Huh.
So how are they manufactured?
I have a hard time believing that.
They won't say.
Yeah, and it just that. I mean, have any of you guys ever had a case blow up on you?
No.
Not a reload, but a factory case.
No.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't either, but a friend of mine did, and it was a factory. I can't remember exactly what the brand was. I mean, obviously that would scare the shit out of you, and I just get leery about what basically amounts to a plastic case with gunpowder.
Right.
Well, apparently
But-
Toad's on his way out.
Yeah, apparently.
So, but
What do you mean?
yeah,
You're
you
just
were
cutting
breaking up
out.
really
Not
bad.
down real bad, but I don't know. Like thinking that plastic cased ammo is going to be more accurate than a hand load, that doesn't really make sense to me because every barrel is different. Every gun is different as far as like what load it likes. Like you can have two of the exact same guns. You can take two Ruger Precisions in the same caliber, and one barrel might like, 0.3 of a grain more than the other barrel.
Well, yeah, but the thing with this, I think what they're saying is they're very precise about absolutely everything that they're doing. Whereas in brass casing, it's not as precise. These are injection molded polymer cases where they have it down to exact sciences.
Yeah.
Where I don't know, everything just seems they're controlling every aspect of the manufacturing process.
Right. It just sounds really expensive.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's going to be outrageously expensive.
So, do you think this is going to be something like 50 years from now, 75 years from now? That's that it's much more prevalent to the point where like that's the majority of rounds that are made. Because I mean,
I'll bet it's sooner than that.
I think it'll be caseless in 75 years.
Didn't they try that with a 6.8 SPC a couple years ago? Army ran a bunch of trials on it.
They've run caseless ammo, like G11, H&K G11 ran caseless ammo. There's been, I mean,
the G11, that was stacked munition caseless though, wasn't it? It was individually electronically fired, kind of like that Metal Storm company out of Australia was trying to do.
No, it was magazine fed individual.
Was it?
Yep, individual rounds, magazine fed. But
so how does that work?
Oh, that's called Kraut Space Magic. That gun was. It's like a fucking Swiss watch inside of that thing.
It had like 347. Yeah. It had like 300 and some moving parts. It was insane. And there's a reason there's only like 11 examples of it left in existence because it was a masterpiece, but at the same time a massive failure.
Yeah.
So I guess when
there was a company.
Sorry, Toad, go ahead.
There was a company out of Australia called Metal Storm, and Box, you could look this up. It's really cool, but
I think we talked about this on the podcast at one point. If it's the same thing I'm talking about. I'm thinking about.
I might have brought it up then, but it was a stacked munition barrel. So the barrels were only good till all the munitions were gone, and each one was individually electronically detonated. So you could I forget what the fire rate was. It was insane. But you could fire
like a million rounds a minute.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Like they showed one demonstration where they fired 3,000 rounds and it went.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So I guess when we talk about polymer cased ammo, they're not reloadable. And one not an argument, but a statement a guy put out about polymer ammo is what happens when we get to the point where it's not, that's the main source of everybody's ammunition, and it's not reloadable.
Well, it's not reloadable because of what it is. It's not reloadable because of how these specific guys manufacture it and load it themselves. So there's no reason that somebody else can't come out with a different manufacturing method of it, and it would be reloadable.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems weird. Like, when we shoot, say you go out and have a range, you go out to the range and you pick up 1,000 pieces of brass, you can reload it. Well, now you're just taking 1,000 pieces of, you're just raking up the plastic and
throwing it away.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. See, and that was the thing that I don't like about it is eventually if we get to that point and it's still not reloadable, then, civilians are hosed, and I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it, I guess, but maybe
it's not like brass is just going to go completely away though.
Right.
My friends call me Whiskers. I'm just a warrior.
Johnson, the G11 had 450 individual parts.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty
outrageous.
impressive unit.
A Glock has like 35, I think.
Yeah. If you have time, guys, go to YouTube and go to Forgotten Weapons. Ian from Forgotten Weapons has a really cool video on the G11. Kind of takes it apart and goes through how it works and everything. It's really neat.
It's pretty neat.
It even says it's affectionately referred to as Kraut Space Magic.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like the pet name of the project was Kraut Space Magic.
Oh my god, it's so ugly though. I mean, I remember playing back in like 2005 this Delta Force game, and it was like one of the first online multiplayer games I ever played in my life. And one of the guns was the G11, and I was like, wow, this is cool, you know. And I never knew that they actually didn't really go into production. But.
Yeah. So the cool thing about that was the way it cycled. It had one part of the mechanism in it. The bolt was actually a rotary bolt, and they basically took the need to shoot accurately away from the person operating it, because in burst mode, it would shoot 3 rounds by the time the recoil cycle completed back to your shoulder. So it was a 3-round burst. It had full auto, it had semi-auto, 3-round burst, and full auto. And full auto rate was fairly slow, so the cyclic rate was fairly slow, so you could control the recoil. But in 3-round burst, it sounded like you were shooting semi-auto, because it actually fired 3 rounds in the same time, like in the same recoil cycle.
Yeah, they called it hyper burst.
It worked. It was super cool.
Huh. Interesting.
Fired at 2,000 rounds a minute. That's 33 rounds per second.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we were talking about manufacturing this polymer ammo. Sam, you wanted to talk about manufacturing 3D firearms?
Yeah, actually got me thinking. Miles, he's right here watching, actually. He posted today in the group he was printing up some 3D printed Glock mags, which I thought was interesting. So I kind of wanted to touch a little bit on, you guys, everybody in here is obviously familiar with 3D printed firearms. They've been around in the news for years. But if you didn't know a little bit of the history of them, they don't have that long of a history, really. I'm sure guys ever since 3D printing has been around have kind of dreamed about doing it. But basically back in 2012 was when they really became mainstream. This U.S.-based team, Defense Distributed, Cody Wilson, I believe, was the owner of that.
Yeah.
They put out plans on the internet for the first 3D printed. It's just a single shot handgun. They call it the Liberator, which was, if you're not familiar, the reason they named it the Liberator was because I'm gonna see if I can find it here. It was for something to do about guns that were printed back in World War I.
They weren't. It was World War II, and they were airdropped by the Allies to I want to say the French and the Dutch resistance. But they were a single shot, ugly sheet metal looking thing, and I believe they were chambered in 45 ACP. And I want to say, I think Zippo even made some of them. Huh. But yeah, I know what you're talking. They called it the Liberator. But I'm pretty sure it was a single shot 45 ACP. But if you look at it, it looks like something somebody built in their garage when they were high on meth.
Okay.
It's ugly, but it worked.
Signs come from, guy.
I think that's because actually there was a lot of people building them. Actually back in World War II. Let's see. Yeah, anyways, they were dropping a shitload of them in France back in World War II when, the Frenchies got overran and they needed help again. Anyways, back to the reason, back to this 3D printed stuff. That's why they called it the Liberator, because it was the first 3D printed single shot handgun. It was a 380 cartridge. And everything in it was just completely 3D printed, except for the firing pin, I believe, was like a roofing nail or some shit like that. So anyway, this started this whole big shit fest online. And the Department of Defense pretty much ended up shutting him down and forcing that company to take the plans off the internet. In 2015, defense distributor founder Cody Wilson, he sued the government on free speech grounds. And in 2018, the Department of Justice settled, acknowledging Wilson's right to publish instructions for the production of 3D printed firearms. So basically, they acknowledge that they don't have a right to stop this knowledge from being published, which I 100% agree with. And ever since then, I mean, everybody and their mom has got into doing this shit. Miles, of course, he's done some pretty cool, some pretty badass shit. Chris Shanahan, actually, he just commented. Chris has a ton of 3D printers in his house, so that's pretty badass. But the reason why everybody's so freaking out about this, as far as morons that don't know how guns work, like as far as AR, you can print AR lowers, stuff, and people are like, well, that's not detectable. Well, yeah, you still need metal parts to put in there. So basically, all you're doing is printing the serialized part, and you buy all the other shit. So it's not like they're undetectable guns.
Right.
So it's not. I never understood why people gave a crap what people build in their houses, anyways. But I think the more we get into this, and the more 3D printing is, the more steps it takes, and the more technology that's gained, we're going to get some really freaking cool shit that you can just click go on, print, bam, done, and you get yourself a freaking badass, a badass lower or a badass whole gun at some point. And there's even I was reading this, it was just a Wikipedia article actually, and he's talking about this guy in 2013, a Texas company, Solid Concepts. They made a 3D printed version of a 1911 pistol made of metal, even using an industrial 3D printer. So if you're not aware, yes, you can 3D print metal as well. And supposedly, according to Johnson, when we had this conversation last time, the military's been doing it for quite some time.
Yeah, so the military has been 3D printing for a very long time. And the 3D printing, that's, when we talked about it before, I know you and I talked about it, a lot of technology trickles down from the military because they have the money to do the R&D on it, or pay people to do R&D for things like that, whereas private companies don't generally have the capital to kind of, do all the research required. But yeah, 3D printing is very prevalent in the military, even metallic 3D printing. So they'll do like 3D printing of stainless steel and other kinds of steel. And basically, like on big ships, on like warships and stuff, they don't want to, it takes up a lot of room to have all the spare parts that they may need. Whereas if they have raw material and then can 3D print the parts that they need, that's a lot more effective for space than having all the spare parts. So they've been doing that for a while. So eventually, that technology is going to be a little more widespread, and therefore the cost of that, 3D printing in metal will come down. So, it'll eventually get there, but it always takes a while.
Right. And I think the most exciting thing to me was, right in this Wikipedia article, the first, they got the history of it is the first section, and the second section is effect on gun control, and they immediately go into that. But I think the coolest thing about this is eventually, 10, 15, 20 years from now, 3D printing is going to get so awesome that basically your gun control is going to be, excuse my French, but fucking worthless.
Right.
I just had a guy yesterday message me. He saw that I was selling those 30-round magazines. And he messages, "Hey, I'm in a behind enemy line state. Can you ship me some magazines?" man, I'd love to, but dude, I'm a small business. I cannot afford to pay a freaking lawyer when I get in trouble. I'm sorry, buddy. 10 years from now, you know, when 3D printers are cheap as dirt and the technology is there, press go on your 3D printer. Guess what? You got yourself a magazine you didn't have to buy from somebody else.
Right.
So, you know, that I think that effect, that angle of this whole thing to me is the most exciting thing, because they're not going to be able to, none of this bullshit, you know, you can't have 30 round mags.
Well, that's in that kind of scenario, you need to message that guy back and say, hey, find a friend of yours that lives on the nearest border, you know, in the next neighboring state, make friends with somebody, I'll ship it to them. You can go pick the son of a bitch up.
Yeah, and it's stupid. I googled their that state's law, and it's not illegal for them to. Well, if they go out of state, basically they can get them, obviously. So It's like, what's the point? But like, how far do you think this is gonna go? Like, as far as 3D printing, and Chris, you're a lot far more knowledgeable on the subject than I am, but like, how far do you think this is going to go? Because eventually, like, if you look at the G44, which obviously had a lot of problems initially, but that's since dwindled. But the reason I bring that up is it has a mostly polymer slide. So are we going to get to the point with polymer technology that you will be able to 3D print a frame, you will be able to 3D print a slide? You know, eventually, I mean, it sounds ludicrous to say, but eventually, you know, a barrel, you know, down the road. I doubt, you know, that seems crazy right now, but a lot of the shit that we're doing right now seemed absolutely insane 30 years ago too. So, you know, where do you think this is all going to go?
That's an interesting topic, and you could really go down the rabbit hole with it. But that's all dependent. You know, it's all dependent on the technology getting better, which everybody knows that technology expands. You know, exponentially. Technology goes crazy, but I don't know. It depends on how long the United States stays a free country. You know, and that's what, as far as you could go down the rabbit hole, there's so many things that could change between now and when that is a viable option.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I mean, and the way shit's going right now, this is even more proof to me that we need this shit. We need this technology, because some of the shit that's going on in the name of an emergency, suddenly the Bill of Rights is just suspended. Well, I'm going to go off for 10 minutes if you guys don't stop me. So we better just move on to the next subject, because this shit drives me absolutely insane what's going on right now. So,
Box, I know you want to talk about Birchwood Casey. Now, is there like a particular...
I just wrote that down to remind myself.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I don't want to talk about them at all, actually. I went to their site to look for what I wanted to talk about on there, and then I figured, hey, there's got to be other companies making this.
Yeah.
Do we want to get into it? We're at 52 minutes right now. Do we want to start another subject, or?
Yeah. Wait, making what?
Okay, fine. Well, 3D targets.
Okay.
Which I think is something we should look into, because every person I hear that's shot at a 3D target, or like a rubber dummy or something like that, or they even just throwing a shirt on your target, they say it feels completely different than just pointing your gun at a cardboard square.
Yeah.
So I was looking into them.
I once watched a guy shoot a rubber dummy target ball with a 12 gauge, and it flew like 150 yards.
That was just a ball.
So was that you that shot that? Who shot that?
That was Sam.
That was Sam. That was awesome.
But anyways, these, instead of the rubber dummies, they're making they're kind of like cardboard. I'm not sure what they are. They're just recycled material pressed material or something.
Yeah.
This one other company, Precision 3D Targets, you can get 10. They make them so you can get a front and a back, so it's a complete torso, you know. And you can get 10 of the front only for 175, or you can get the 10 of the front and the back for 275. I'm not sure how long those would last. Probably not very long, I would imagine. They're just those recycled material kind of cardboardy things. So then I got back to looking into the rubber dummies. And last I remember, they were very expensive, like $500. And I went onto their site, and you can get a body for $145.
They're not that bad. Yeah.
No.
So you can get a body for $145.
Yeah, it's not like the complete torso or anything. It's not. It's just like the front half of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the whole from like the top of the groin up.
And
Sign
they
me
have
up.
like the starter kit too. That's like the rubber dummy and the stand that it goes on, and then like I don't remember. It's got like spray paint.
It comes with paint and some kill shot pack, which I don't know what the fuck that is.
I think it's
It
like
just like
Those are
tacks.
those deals you.
test packet that you put in the head for.
Yeah.
Oh,
But that's $240. That's
Yeah.
really not that bad for a target that's going to last a long, long time.
they say between 4,000 and 5,000 shots,
Yeah.
which is quite a few.
So let's get one.
So what you're saying is like it lasts for about 2 range days because after we get done, Sam decides to empty every mag he ever loaded that day.
Right?
No, it was well. There's
Johnson, I forgot ammo. Can I get 100 rounds from you? Yep. Okay. End of the day, doesn't matter. He's still emptying every round. I'm not taking
He's
any
usually-
damn it.
He's usually the first to shoot too. You know, when none of us have ear protection on, but him doesn't tell us. It's like, oh, range's hot, bam.
Oh, everybody's taking their headphones off and is picking up. Let me go mag dump this.
Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. So here's the deal. We're gonna get one of these rubber dummies, and then we're gonna make a video about it. And the song the song over the top of the video is gonna be "Rubber Dummy, you're so fun. You make range time."
what
So
the
the rubber,
fuck are
you know
you
the
talking
rubber
about?
the Rubber Ducky song? Rubber
Yeah,
Ducky.
Sesame Street. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm not familiar.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know the Rubber Ducky song?
Why would
do
I?
you
I'm
not know the
30
Rubber
years
Ducky
old and I don't have kids.
Jeez.
You didn't have a TV when you were growing up, did you? I forgot about
No,
that.
we didn't.
Have kids, he knows it.
Sam's a creep, though.
Well, okay. No. Not
That
gonna
may be
argue
true,
that.
but that's beside the point.
He has a whole Pandora station for that shit.
So if you
Sam,
guys really,
did you like my comment on your status on Facebook earlier? What Johnson's wife was like, "No, I'm curious," and I was like, "Some things just aren't meant to be seen."
and it's true, it's not meant to be seen.
Yeah.
But really, if you guys want to get one of these dummies, we can. I mean, do they show shots very well? Like after,
Yes,
like
you paint them white, and then it kind of burns the area around it, so
Well, it
it's
kinda,
immediately.
like, flakes off.
Yeah.
Too, and it'll be like you'll see like the black rubber.
Yep.
so you got to just paint it every time after you shoot it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just self-healing type shit.
Which and it's not like it needs to dry. Like the paint needs
Yeah.
to dry. You know?
Well, yeah, you don't have to sand it down to 320 and a Scotch-Brite every time.
Jesus
No.
Christ.
All right, I'm game. We can get one. What'd you say, like $150 for the front torso?
Yeah, 145.
Why would you want the back? Like, are you training to shoot people in the back?
No, that's just if you're shooting from more extreme angles. They come in handy for like close quarter combat and shit like that, training and knife fighting, and all sorts of different fucking scenarios. Sage Dynamics.
Oh,
Sage
yeah.
Dynamics has a video on using 3D target, Sam, that you should look into, and he explains it. Gives you a better idea. He uses cardboard 3D targets, though.
Cardboard 3D targets?
Yeah.
These the 2.0 versus so the standard rubber one is 145 and the rubber dummy 2.0 is 175. So the 2.0 they just say are thicker to stand up to more rounds.
Huh, interesting.
It didn't really look that
You
much
know-
thicker, though. Maybe like an inch and a half.
Well, and that's, I think, I think it's just to keep the exit wounds from tearing out so fast. And just keep it up to more.
Chris, if you want to spend the money on a rubber dummy and the tannerite, we will definitely shove a half pound of tannerite in it.
Yep.
I feel like we don't make any money from this, so not real budget friendly to just blow up $150.
Yeah, I wish I saw that video of that tree that we stuck. You guys weren't there. This has been probably about 6 years ago, but we bought some of those giant shockwave targets with I think they were like 6 pounds.
Okay, is somebody listening to the Sesame Street shit? I can hear it in the background, and it's driving me crazy.
Hold on a second. Gosh, turn it down.
He whispers.
Hey.
But yeah, we stuck in a tree, and it was a pretty big old dead ash tree, and they took the whole thing down. It was awesome.
Yeah,
we're talking about
brands of exploding target that are far better than others. Like tannerite, off the shelf tannerite isn't that great. You get like some K2 or some, there's some good ones out there with a little extra pop.
What's that one Tony always gets? That's K2, isn't it?
K2, yeah.
Isn't K2 a drug?
Yes. It's like a synthetic marijuana, just not good.
People always go like brain dead after smoking it.
Sounds like a great time.
People that jump out of windows and shit when they're on it. Weird stuff.
Hey, you guys wanted?
Not even a joke. That's real. That was a real situation for a while. There was a lot of cases of people jumping out of windows on it.
So you guys want to?
What was that drug people were eating other people's faces on a couple years ago?
Bath salts.
Bath salts.
That's what it was. Yeah.
So you guys want to do some K2 and shoot some tannerite?
Yeah, the next podcast is going to be LSLF on K2.
That would make for an interesting deal.
We haven't talked about it in a while. I know we did before, but we still need to do a primitive range day.
Yes, we do.
There's a lot of things we need to do.
I did find my my recurve too. So I was shooting it out at the farm the other day. So I got the recurve. And
I got mine in the back of my closet. It's got the string. The string is apparently broke years ago. So now it's we got a piece of rope tied to the string that fixes the finishes up the end of it.
Yeah, we're gonna use mine because it has an actual string. But yeah, we need 3 tomahawks and a longbow. So
yeah, we'll figure it out someday.
Yeah.
Chris says Tide Pods on him. Well, he said
Tide Tods.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
We'll go to Colorado and have a edibles podcast.
Oh boy.
No, thank you.
I feel like that'd get weird in a hurry. That'd last about. It'd just be 7 hours of Sam sitting on the kitchen counter somewhere, and Johnson be laying on the floor. I'd probably be throwing up. Box would be out robbing a bank or some shit.
No, I'd be in the corner staring at it or something.
Standing in the middle of the room, staring straight at the light. Wow.
Maybe crying and vomiting on myself.
Box is over in the corner petting an imaginary cat.
Okay,
this got weird.
Yeah, this has gone downhill real quick, guys. Okay, so we're over an hour. I guess we're gonna call it because I don't see this going anywhere good from here.
Yeah, this is not constructive at this point.
So this was kind of a rough episode. At least it started off rough and kind of ended rough too.
Made it full circle.
Yeah, that really came all the way around. But thanks everyone for watching and stopping by. If you're new here and you want to watch the rest of this episode, obviously you can watch it back on Facebook, or you can check it out when we post it on YouTube, which I do a terrible job of keeping updated with. And it'll be up on all our podcast providers, all the major podcast providers. And I don't know what else to say.
Sam, take it away.
No.
Yep. That's about it, ladies and gents. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. Yeah, we're on the tail end of this whole bullshit virus thing, I guess, guys. So keep on keeping
Hopefully.
on, keep the faith. We'll like I've been saying since it started, we'll get through this. Come on the other side a little bit better, hopefully. So, anyways, guys, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Make sure you check out our podcast for the rest of the time. We got plenty of episodes to keep you entertained. And yeah,
Are you not entertained?
Probably not.
till next time. Remember, life's short, live free. God bless, and God bless America.
Okay, we're out.
Actually, I was